In this video, we're going to go over downloading data from the Spring, unzipping that data using zip tools, and setting up the home folder in your QGIS window so that you can easily find the data that you've just downloaded. Now, on the Spring, let's click on Content up at the top here. In week 1, we're going to click on our Data tab, and we're going to see this DOME Data 2020, and we can see that it's a zip compressed file. Now, zip files allow you to compress a whole bunch of files into a single file. If we remember from class in the first day, shape files and other geospatial files contain many small files that are all required to be able to visualize that data in QGIS or another program. So if I click on this little arrow, I'm going to click download, and a window should open up here. Now, if this is your first time doing this, what I'm going to urge you to do is go to your desktop, whether you're on a Mac or PC, it'll all be the same, and create a new folder called GIS. Let's click new folder here, similar on the Mac, or you can right click new folder. So we're going to have a folder called GIS, and we're going to save this compressed zip folder into there. Great, downloaded pretty fast, pretty small data set here. Perfect. Now let's go over to open up File Explorer for Windows or Finder on Mac. Click on Desktop, open up GIS. I've already done this. I'm just going to delete this real quick. And you'll see we have this zip file. What we want to do is we want to right click on that file and click Extract All. We could also use 7-zip, which is a utility that gives us a few more options. But if I click on Extract All, it's going to ask me, hey, where do you want to send this to? By default, it's going to send it to the location where you downloaded that data. That looks good to me. If you want to change this, you can just click Browse and specify I want it in my desktop, I want it in my GIS folder, and I'll select that folder. So you better go Desktop, GIS. Okay, cool. So I'm going to then click Extract. This may be slightly different on the Mac, but you should get to the same place. And for small data, it should be relatively quick. Now, let's open this up and see what kind of data we have in here. Whoa, that's a lot of files. So what we can see in here is that we have a lot of files that start with the same thing, but have different extensions, right? domebound.cpg, .prj, .qpj, .shp, .shx. These are all of these files together make up a shape file. So we need all of these to be able to see them in QGIS. Similarly, for dome trees, all 8 of these files make up a shape file. These 2 files here are a TIFF. That means they're an image file or a raster file. So we need to make sure we have both of those. All right. Always good to double check, make sure that your zip extraction went smoothly. Once you've extracted that data, you can delete that zip file if you'd like to, just to keep things a little bit cleaner. Great. All right. I'm going to close this window now, and we are going to go over to QGIS. All right. In QGIS, we can add that data in a couple ways, but we're going to do that in the upcoming videos. What I want us to do first here, before we move on, is on this browser tab that we set up in that first video, right, in our first intro QGIS video, I want us to navigate to our folder, right? So on Windows, that means going to the C drive, going down to users, going to your username, going down to desktop and GIS and dome data. Oh my gosh, that's like a lot of clicking to get all the way down there. Now, here's a cool shortcut that you can use. And this is great when you're just starting out on a project, is you can set a home folder for your project. So basically say, oh, I know all my data is going to be coming out of my desk, that GIS folder on my desktop. To do that, click on Project and go down to Properties. And that's where we can, I'm going to make this a little wider, set our project home folder. I've already done it here, but if you want to do this yourself, you'd click on these three little dots here. And these three little dots, you're going to be clicking on a lot of these things. If you ever want to set the location of something or name something, you're always going to click on these three little dots. And I'm going to click on Desktop. I'm going to click on GIS, and I'm going to click Select Folder. I'm going to select the GIS folder here. Awesome. Look at that. Users, Seabedego Desktop GIS. That's my project home folder. I'm going to click OK. Now what I'm going to see is rather than having to go all the way into Users, Seabedego, blah, 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 I can just expand Project Home. Now this is my GIS folder, and my DONE data is right here. And what's great about using the browser is that all of your data, you don't see all those extra files that accompany a shapefile or a raster image file, a TIFF file. You just see the files themselves. So this is a really nice way to manage your data and easily access that data that you just extracted in the zip tool. All right, in the next video, we'll work on adding some data.